it actually just strengthens me mentally to realize that, you know, a lot of people were saying a lot of things about his takedowns and stuff, and I was able to take that out. What happens is somebody else is somewhere else riding for him, and then he comes here and he sees me. Maybe he thought, you know, maybe I don't want to face him right now, I'm alone, but that's 100% what happened.
UFC 320 for the light heavyweight championship. Alex Pereira is getting another shot.
The UFC is no stranger to rivalries, but every once in a while a matchup comes along that feels bigger than the cage itself. That's exactly what's happening with Alex Pereira and Magomed Ankalaev. Their rematch has turned into one of Alex Pereira isn't impressed with Magomed Ankalaev's words. Just before their UFC 320 rematch, Pereira called his trash talk fake. While Pereira keeps things serious, Ankalaev relies on talk. Fans now wonder which approach will matter most on fight night. Meanwhile, Michael Bisping believes Alex Pereira fully deserves this rematch. He reminded fans how Pereira defended his belt multiple times in a short span and delivered knockout wins that excited audiences worldwide. Bisping said Pereira faced many dangerous fighters and impressively beat them. Even though he lost when matched with someone his size, his record still proves why he's earned another chance now.
I think it's quite clearly a yes. I mean, when you look at Alex Pereira and the career that he's had, and to be honest, everything that he's done for the sport, stepping up on short notice, defending the belt in the amount of times that he did in the short frame of time that it was, I mean, it was sensational. Then you look at the performances as well, the knockouts that he provided and how he thrilled audiences all over the world. If there's anyone that deserves an immediate rematch, it has to be Alex Pereira. Now, granted, one can make the argument that the first time that he took on somebody his own size, that was potentially a stylistically problematic matchup for him, he lost. However, that was just the state of the light heavyweight division. He did take out a lot of great fighters, one after the other, and knocked them all out in sensational fashion.
Bisping then explained why Pereira struggled in the first fight. He said Pereira didn't look like himself and never pushed forward. The busy schedule, constant travel, and appearances may have distracted him from training. According to Bisping, this rematch puts serious pressure on Pereira. If he loses again to Ankalaev, his title hopes won't end, but they will take a big step backward.
Didn't really show up last time out, I'll say that. Last time against Magomed Ankalaev, I think we all felt the same way. He didn't really get going. He didn't take any chances. He didn't bite down on his mouthpiece and really go to war. It was kind of a nothing fight, and maybe that's because of the schedule that I just talked about. Maybe it's because he was flying all over the world and being the belle of the ball, the man of the moment, doing appearances here and seminars there and going to Australia. Almost every single event you went to, there was Alex Pereira, and maybe he just took his eye off the ball a little bit. We don't know, and that's why we're doing a rematch, because there's a lot of pressure coming on Alex Pereira this weekend, because if he doesn't beat Magomed Ankalaev, I'm not saying that his title aspirations or talks are done, but it's a massive blow to the former champion.
Following Bisping's comments, Adam Catterall also reflected on Pereira's career. He explained that Pereira's rapid success made him a Hall of Famer within just 4 years, something no fighter had done before. Catterall praised his achievements across 2 divisions, but reminded fans that at 38, Pereira is nearing the end of his career. That makes every fight more important than ever now.
Perhaps, but that's also one of the reasons why he secured himself in the Hall of Fame inside 4 years. You know, no one's ever done that before. His impact on this sport was absolutely meteoric across 2 weight divisions as well, multiple title defenses and challenges. He's been absolutely phenomenal for the sport, but we also knew that he's 38 years of age now, so we were getting him at the back end of his fight and life, so it's about getting as much out as possible. Although what was really interesting last week was hearing Pereira describe Ankalaev as a, let's use a nice word, a less than satisfactory UFC champion.
Catterall then compared Pereira's visibility as champion to Ankalaev's quieter approach. He said Pereira embraced being the UFC's face, traveling, meeting fans, and promoting the sport worldwide. Ankalaev, by contrast, stayed away from the spotlight, rarely appearing at events or engaging publicly. According to Catterall, champions need to represent the UFC globally, and Pereira did that well, even if his time on top might be ending.
I think by that, what he means is, since losing the belt to Ankalaev, we haven't really seen Ankalaev at all. He's been not at any event, he's not been visual, he's not been speaking to the fans, he's done what he's always done, and that's gone away and work away and hide away and do his own thing. Whereas Pereira took on that role as UFC champion as, right, well, I've got to be the face of the UFC now, at least as far as I'm concerned. I've got to attend events, I've got to fly around the world, I've got to be visual and touchable for fans to come up and go, wow, a UFC champion, take photos. I understand where he's coming from. This is a sport that is competing with many other sports, not just in America, but on a global scale. UFC is competing with pay-per-view, live sports events on every single corner of the planet. You need your champion to be visual, out there, promoting the brand, promoting the sport, and getting in people's faces. That's what Pereira did. I think he was a great champion, but maybe his time has done.
After Adam Catterall's breakdown, Teddy Atlas looked at what happened in the first fight. He said Pereira tried to attack Ankalaev's lead leg, but Ankalaev defended well and avoided serious damage. Atlas explained that Ankalaev also limited Pereira's counterpunches. Small details like these made a big difference and could decide how the rematch goes.
I know you can talk about his leg kick, his lead leg kick. That's the first thing. Ankalaev better make sure his legs are ready, because in the first fight, Pereira almost broke his legs, but then he started, avoiding them, checking them better. But Pereira will try that again, try to take away Ankalaev's lead leg, which is what he was starting to do and doing in their first fight, but Ankalaev was able to sustain himself. He was able to survive it, get around it, and then take charge when he had to.
Atlas added that Ankalaev used smart, slow pressure and stayed very disciplined. By keeping Pereira off balance and avoiding openings, Ankalaev controlled the fight. His southpaw stance helped, forcing Pereira to fight differently. Atlas pointed out that strategy and patience were just as important as power in winning the first fight.
The key was he took away Pereira's counterpunching ability. Yeah, he's got a great left hook. Yeah, he's got great legs. Yeah, he's got power. Natural power. He was a kickboxer. But he took away his number one item, the counter left hook, where he gets you to reach, make a mistake, get over anxious, get over your skis a little bit, where your head gets in front of your legs. And then he puts the lights out. That's how you beat him. That's how Ankalaev beat him. He backed him up slowly. He backed him up with slow, cautious, proper aggression.
Finally, Atlas advised Pereira's next fight. He said Pereira needs to use his jab more and not rely only on his left hook. Small adjustments in strategy and timing are very important. Against a disciplined fighter like Ankalaev, Pereira must combine power with smart movement to create openings and avoid mistakes if he wants to win.
Backing him up, keeping him off, keeping him a little off balance, keeping him defensive, but never giving him anything to counter. He did it, and he's a southpaw, Ankalaev. He did it in a very deliberate, smart, buttoned-up, technical way. He's got to do it again. There's no room for mistakes with Pereira. I might throw a wrinkle in here if I was Ankalaev's team and say throw a feint in once in a while. Throw a feint in once in a while. But he will have to do the same thing. He won. If he does the same thing, I think he wins again. Here's where Pereira, this is the analytical part you're looking for.
During a recent interview, Alex Pereira recalled a moment with Magomed Ankalaev before their rematch was confirmed. Pereira suggested that Ankalaev appeared hesitant when they crossed paths. According to Pereira, Ankalaev may not have wanted to face him at that time, especially since Pereira was alone. He explained the situation clearly in his own words.
What happens is somebody else is somewhere else riding for him, and then he comes here and he sees me. Maybe he thought, maybe I don't want to face him right now. I'm alone, but that's 100% what happened.
Pereira also addressed Ankalaev's past claims that he avoided fighting him. He explained that those statements were never true and that the UFC simply had different plans at the time. Pereira stressed he never ran from the matchup and even tried to keep things respectful outside the cage. He made his position clear when speaking about those accusations.
I don't really know what it is. I think that he used to say a lot that I was running away from him, that I didn't want to fight him. That's never happened. We all know the UFC didn't want to promote that fight, so that's never what it was. But I have no problem with him, and I always try to be friendly and avoid conflict.
Adding on, Tim Welch explained why Alex Pereira earned another shot in the UFC. He highlighted Pereira's fast rise from kickboxing, his knockout power, and his strong record of 12 wins and 10 KOs. Before losing to Magomed Ankalaev, Pereira had a long win streak against top opponents, proving he could compete with the best. His career and achievements make him a major contender for this rematch.
Alex Pereira is getting another shot. Alex, one of the biggest stars in the UFC, exploded onto the scene real quick, straight from kickboxing. He's 38 years old now. 6'4", 12 wins, 3 losses, and 10 clean KOs. Now, before his last loss to Magomed, he was on a fat win streak here. Jan Blachowicz, Yuri Prochazka, Jamal Hill, Yuri Prochazka again, Khalil Roundtree, and then he lost the decision to Magomed Ankalaev, who is an absolute monster. This guy is a monster. He's 33 years old, absolute prime. 20 wins with 1 loss. He's a big guy, a big southpaw, 6'3". He's on a fat win streak. He hasn't lost since 2018 when Paul Craig submitted him in a triangle choke. Since then, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Welch then focused on Ankalaev, describing him as a powerful fighter in his prime. At 33 with 20 wins and only 1 loss, Ankalaev has consistently dominated opponents. The matchup now pits Pereira's rapid rise and striking skill against Ankalaev's size, strength, and experience. According to Welch, this rematch is a high-level clash where both fighters have a lot to prove, making it highly anticipated by fans.
12-fight win streak in the UFC, so they really couldn't deny him. They couldn't deny him. Like, not the most exciting, crazy exciting guy to watch, but when you get that many wins in a row, it don't matter. UFC is the best of the best fight the best. Let's take a peek here at when Magomed Ankalaev fought Alex Pereira and see what sticks out.
Just like Pereira must be smart and patient against Ankalaev, Merab Dvalishvili is thinking carefully about his fight with Cory Sandhagen. He wants to control the pace, enjoy the fight, and finish at the right moment. This shows that top fighters focus not only on power but also on timing, strategy, and staying composed to get the best result.
No, I wanna finish him 5th round and after 4 minutes and 45 seconds.
Why that time?
No, I wanna enjoy. You know, last time when I finished Sean O'Malley in 3 rounds, I was missing something. I want a more takedown. You know, I want more records on my resume, and I want a more punch. And when I finished, I was missing something. You know, and I want now. This time, I'm gonna enjoy whole fights. Hopefully, you know. Listen, if happens first round, it's okay. I'll take it. But I mean, ideal will be enjoy all 5 minutes, all five rounds, and then end of the 5th round, finish him.
Furthermore, after sharing how he wants to pace himself in the fight, Dvalishvili acknowledged that Cory Sandhagen has improved since their last encounter. He recognized Sandhagen's growth in grappling and overall skills, showing respect for his opponent. Dvalishvili emphasized that he is preparing for the best version of Sandhagen, knowing that staying focused and ready for any challenge will be key to executing his plan.
I mean, I'm expecting much better Cory Sandhagen, you know. Of course, after that, Cory Sandhagen has lots of fights. He even said himself he take his time, dedicate, and then he get better in grappling. And now we all know he's like very good in 50-50 position, like jiu-jitsu. He break Figueiredo's knee, and he break TJ Dillishaw's knee, and he submit Bautista. You know, so he should be better, you know, and then that's my job to. Now he's my opponent and he's the best guy, so I will be ready for best Cory Sandhagen.
While Dvalishvili is planning his strategy and respecting his opponent, Cory Sandhagen shared his own mindset heading into the fight. He explained that his focus has always been on hard work, constant improvement, and giving his best in every fight. Sandhagen believes that by staying dedicated and disciplined, the right opportunities will eventually come, even in a sport as unpredictable as MMA.
Yeah, you know, I've always been a really strong believer in that if I just keep working my ass off and just keep doing all the right things and just continue to improve and be the best that I know that I can be, everything will just work itself out. And I know that MMA is a crazy sport and anything can happen. People can get hurt. Timing can line up well. You know, certain guys can get, like, certain types of fights can get really pushed and other ones not. And so I just knew I knew it was just going to come eventually, you know, as long as I just kept working my butt off and getting better every day, and just every time I go out there fighting with all of my heart and making sure that I'm improving every time and doing my best in each fight, that it would pay off. And it's cool that it's actually happening.
Building on his focus on hard work and improvement, Sandhagen explained how he plans to handle Dvalishvili's style. He believes his wrestling and conditioning are strong enough to withstand Dvalishvili's attempts to tire him out. Sandhagen is confident in his striking and overall skills, feeling ready to control the fight and prevent Dvalishvili from using his usual game plan.
Yeah, I'm pumped for it, man. I keep saying this, Merab's ways of winning are wrestling guys and getting guys tired, and you won't do that to me. I've shown that my wrestling has come far enough to where you're not just going to punk me in wrestling. I'm not going to get tired. I haven't gotten tired in one of my, I don't know how many main event fights I've had at this point, but I'm used to 5 rounds. I've been training for 5 rounds for years now, so my body's conditioned for it. I just don't really see too many paths for Merab to win. He gets people tired and he wrestles them, and he's not going to be able to do that to me. So we're going to have a striking fight, and I've gotten miles and miles better at that as well.
After looking at both fighters' skills and preparation, Ray Longo talked about Corey Sandhagen. He said Sandhagen's style with stance switching and long reach makes him tricky to fight. Longo noted Sandhagen has always been talented and had the potential to become a champion. His adaptability and experience give him an edge and make him a challenging opponent for anyone in the division.
I think the guy most similar to Sandhagen would be like an O'Malley, and he's got 2 wins over him, which I think is going to help. But, he's always switching stances. Look, I always told you this. I loved Corey from the beginning. I thought he was definitely going to be a champion someday. So, he's had his, sometimes he just maybe overthinks things or something happens. So I think this is his one opportunity. He's coming in about as well prepared as he's ever been for a fight.
Longo then focused on Sandhagen's experience and mindset. He pointed out that Sandhagen has faced losses, learned from them, and now has nothing to lose. This fearless attitude combined with his skills makes him unpredictable. Longo emphasized that every fighter in the division is strong, but Sandhagen's adaptability, experience, and confidence give him a unique edge in this fight.
And I think he's not that he's dangerous, but he's dangerous to deal with because of the shift, the stance switching, and he's rangy. The other guy, O'Malley, he's coming forward. He's not as, with the footwork isn't like Sandhagen's, so it might be harder to engage with him. So we'll see what happens. But I put him up whatever. Look, at that point, Kenny, everybody in that division is good, and they all bring something that's for the reason they're there, right? You know what I mean? And Sandhagen, what scares me about him is he's had losses and he's come back. You know what I mean? He's been there, so he's not. He got that monkey off his back when he was undefeated. Sometimes you always, you go out to protect that. I don't want to take a risk, but he's got nothing to lose. That's what makes him dangerous. He's got absolutely nothing to lose.
Before the fight, Alexander Volkanovski shared his thoughts on Merab Dvalishvili's approach inside the octagon. He explained that Dvalishvili is relentless, applying pressure safely while forcing opponents into tough positions. Volkanovski pointed out that Dvalishvili's ability to control the pace, bait his opponents, and adjust during the fight makes him a serious threat, especially in the early rounds.
Will he do that for the first couple of rounds? I think he's dangerous first couple of rounds. Can he, if it goes past that, can Corey Sandhagen still be dangerous, or is he going to be too tired? It's too hard to pick against Merab. Merab is just relentless, and I feel like he's getting better and better. He's just so good at getting himself out of danger, making you freeze, getting you to bite, and then even though he's putting the pressure on you early, he does it safe at a good range, where he's baiting, pretending he's coming in, level changes, and then slowly creeps into, he knows, I'll start here. Yeah, I'm safe.
Building on his earlier points, Volkanovski discussed how Merab Dvalishvili matches up against different opponents. He explained that some fighters struggle with Dvalishvili's wrestling and pressure, holding back to avoid takedowns. Volkanovski highlighted that against someone like Corey Sandhagen, who won't fear his wrestling, Dvalishvili will need to rely on his skills, timing, and aggression, making this matchup especially interesting to watch.
That's Merab's most dangerous opponent. That stuff is where he can be very effective and actually end it. I thought Sean was going to be able to be quite, because he's that good as well of a striker, but he just didn't want to be wrestling. He was so worried about the takedown that he didn't do anything. I don't think Corey Sandhagen is going to be like that. I talked about this with the Jack Della fight.
Jack Dilla wasn't worried about the takedown. I'm going to press. I'll worry about the takedown when it's there. I'm going to try and knock your head off till you shoot, then I'll worry about the takedown. Not, oh no, I've got to be in a position where he can't really get the takedown.
The UFC 320 rematch between Alex Pereira and Magomed Ankalaev will be a fight full of skill, strategy, and mental toughness. Pereira has knockout power, fast success, and worldwide recognition, while Ankalaev is precise, disciplined, and applies constant pressure. Small things like Pereira using his jab or Ankalaev controlling the fight's pace could decide the winner. At the same time, Merab Dvalishvili faces Corey Sandhagen in another exciting matchup with pressure and technique clashing. Both fights show that training, focus, and mental strength are just as important as power, giving fans two thrilling battles to watch. Which fighter do you think will come out on top in these high-stakes matchups, Pereira or Ankalaev, and Dvalishvili or Sandhagen? Who has the edge in strategy and mental toughness? Comment your predictions below.